Hi everyone, it's Angela from Cake Angel, and today I'm going to show you how to flood a cookie. For this I'm using a Tipless bag and I'm also using a flood consistency icing, and I've cut just a little bit off of the end of the bag, and then I'm going to start by outlining the cookie. And this video is in real time, so you can see how long of a process this actually is. When you're going around, just try and get as close to the edge of the cookie as you can. If you do make some mistakes, as I do here, where you don't quite get the right outline, you can always go back and correct this with your Scribe tool. And if you don't have a Scribe tool, you could use a toothpick for this. So here you can see I'm just kind of fixing the line to make it a little bit more rounded. And when you do fill the icing, it will actually help to push that outline into the right position as well, so we don't need to worry too much about it. Now you'll notice that straight away I'm starting to flood the icing, and I like to go around in sections, and you're squeezing a little bit harder on the bag at this stage so that more of the icing comes out. You can also trim a little bit extra off your bag as well to help the flood come out a lot quicker. Although, just a note, if you are doing a lot of cookies in the same shape, it's probably better to leave the tip the same size. So I'm just going to keep working my way around. Now my icing is a little on the stiffer side of flood consistency, and the reason I like to do that is firstly so that it doesn't roll off the side of the cookie, and secondly so that it actually gives me a little bit more time to work with it. And you can see it is very slowly starting to melt into itself, and by melting into itself I mean that you'll see that the lines that I'm piping start to disappear into themselves. And I'm going to show you shortly, once this is finished, how to actually get rid of those lines fully so you have that perfectly clear flood consistency cookie. Okay, so that's all my icing done. Again, you can see that the icing is starting to go back into itself. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my Scribe tool. You're looking for any bubbles that have popped up in your icing while you were piping, and you just want to give them a little swirl just to tap them down and actually help the icing go back into a nice flat surface as well. Keep doing that until you're happy with the look of the icing. And you can see, because it is slightly thicker, it does leave some indentations still. And to fix that, we just need to pick it up and very, very carefully give it a little bit of a shake. Make sure you've got a tight hold on the cookie when you do this so you don't accidentally drop it on the counter. Okay, you can see there's just a couple of little bubbles that we need to burst, so I'm just going to tap those down again, and you can see them going nice and smooth for us. And there you go, we have a really nicely flooded cookie, perfect base for your design. But the next thing that I'm going to do is actually show you how to do a little wet on wet technique as well. So for this I'm just going to pipe a couple of little roses, and you want to make sure you do this before your icing starts to crust over. The whole purpose of wet on wet is that the extra icing that you add will actually sink into the original flood consistency. So I'm using the same consistency of icing again, it's just being coloured pink, and then I'm swirling it around to give that effect of it being a rosebud. I'm going to do the same with the second one with my Scribe tool, and again, if you don't have a Scribe tool you can use a toothpick for this. And you can see that is starting to flatten out again. Next I'm going to just pipe a couple of lines either side to give the impression of leaves. And we're going for a sort of vintage look here. And a nice tip when you do wet on wet for leaves is you can actually use your scribe tool to pull those points out on the ends of the leaves. So this icing is going to take a while to crust over because there is a lot of icing on there. It's fairly thick. And you'd want to leave this cookie set for at least overnight. I would say a minimum of 12 hours before you apply any further icing on top of it or before you put any edible markers on it. And there you go, there's a close-up of our design. Nice little details for you and a really simple flower as well. Hope you found this technique useful. Thanks for watching.